I'm bringing this joke.
Woo! Alright, so tell me about Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword was unique because it was like, this wasn't deep lore or anything. It was known, everyone could tell right away. It was, timeline-wise, it is it's the Zelda that came out after, or before, Breath of the Wild.
Right.
So it's one of the most recent ones.
Right. Why are we not going to play it?
Because it sucks.
Okay, fair enough.
Gameplay-wise, it's not good. So, but story-wise, it's one of the most interesting and, like, important because chronologically, it's the very first game in the series.
Oh.
It's like IRL-wise, it's probably like 18th or whatever, but like it takes place like at the very beginning.
Okay.
It explains like how Hyrule came to be and everything.
Okay. Is that really necessary?
Well, here's why. So it was Link and Zelda. It's called Skyward Sword because their people live in the sky.
Right.
You find out that they were sent to the sky by the goddess Hylia to protect them.
Okay.
After a fucking demon monster called Demise showed up and fucked everything, and filled the world with rock monsters and evil and such. So to protect her people, Hylia put them in the sky where they couldn't be hurt.
Okay.
Zelda gets captured by Demise's servant,
Okay.
and he wants to use her to resurrect him.
Okay.
Or awaken him or whatever. So you're Link. You gotta save Zelda from that, so you're doing that, and then. You only see Demise at the very end. For most of the game, you're fighting his servant.
Okay.
His weapon, basically.
Okay.
And you meet him at the very end. He's this big, fucking, crazy-looking muscle dude with like giant orange hair.
Okay.
You fight him, and you beat him, obviously.
Obviously.
And one thing he tells you at the end is, you may have beaten me, but this isn't over. Like I hear, like you're. The people people who share so the reason why you're the chosen one in that game is because you share the blood of the goddess or whatever. Like
okay.
you were chosen as the hero. Zelda was chosen as like the goddess's like sage, kind of like the
mm-hmm.
almost kind of like the reincarnation of the god, like the reincarnation of the goddess or whatever. And that's like why she has powers and stuff, and why she's destined, like why they need her to save the world and everything. And Link is like the one who's been blessed by the goddess to be the hero and stuff, and then save the world.
Yeah.
One thing that Demise says at the end after you beat him is, this isn't over. My hatred will never be gone or everything or anything. Like I'm an eternal fucking force. Like you can never be rid of me. From here on out, people who share your bloodline, like their descendants basically, are forever cursed.
Yeah.
And like years from now, a reincarnation of my hatred will like basically like okay, I'm not wording it right, but basically like he's saying like a reincarnation of my hatred will forever like haunt and like will forever like haunt your ancestors. You people who are like those who are like you, who share the blood of the goddess. Okay. So basically, it establishes that, and that the incarnation of that hatred is Ganon.
Right.
So it establishes that like the reason why Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf are forever like the trifecta, the Triforce, is because of this curse. So Demise made it so like forever. So Zelda and Link's descendants are forever cursed to have to fight and defeat the reincarnation of Demise's hatred being Ganondorf or whoever it is.
Did it really need to be that complicated? Like it just could have been like
I mean.
Like they're video games. They don't really need this kind of lore. Or
the thing is like, at a certain point when it's like, this, why are Link and Zelda? Why is Ganon never defeated? Why is it always Link and Zelda? Like because it's always it's always Link, it's always Zelda. Dealing with Ganondorf stuff, and often there are other villains too. But for the most part, because the Triforce has like, I'm not sure it gets talked about in this, but it might. Mostly Ocarina of Time gets talked about, but the three pieces of the Triforce: courage, wisdom, and power.
Okay.
Link is courage, Zelda's wisdom, Ganon is power.
Right. Don't we need a bomb to get over there?
Well, yeah, but we have to like activate these bombs somehow. I'm trying to remember how. Hold on. Yeah. I don't want to fall into lava. I'm trying to
Maybe
remember
the lava will do it.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that worked, but I was like, I was in the lava. Ah! It didn't cut away. She just popped it out of nowhere. Ah!
Wow.
That was funny. I've never seen that before. All right, cool.
Like,
Yeah.
I get why fans would want it, but, like, I don't know, it just feels like these games don't really have much in the way of story.
No, they do. I'd say they do. Like, have the most story of any like Nintendo game. Like, oh, we'll go back here again. We were just here. You know, obviously Mario isn't that much of a story.
No.
You know, it's just you save the princess from the monster. Like,
Yeah.
and that game is so like happy and whatever. Like, it doesn't really need to have. Oh, we have a key.
Yeah.
Obviously there's no like. They are destined to do this forever because of a curse or whatever, But like Zelda's like a fantasy, setting.
Yeah.
It's very much like inspired by stuff like Lord of the Rings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things that people why people love Zelda so much is because it has this story and this world and these
Yeah.
characters and these species and races and like
Yeah.
just this like I think really like kind of what made Breath of the Wild so like such a fun concept was that like you're able to explore this huge world like that has because I feel like for an adventure game where the main focus is exploration
Yeah.
like if the world itself is not like fun to explore and everything or like
Yeah.
interesting to explore and you're not like enamored or like interested in anything in it like who cares
Yeah.
And I think like having those like consistent themes and everything is what people can come to look forward to and expect and stuff.
Yeah.
Because in the opening they told the legend of how this all happened.
Yeah.
And it said like how the hero of time, the Link in Ocarina of Time,
Mm-hmm.
saved the day, but then Ganon came back and he wasn't there, and he wasn't there because in Majora's Mask he falls in a hole, and the theory is he died,
Okay.
and he's basically in limbo in that game. It's not confirmed, but it's pretty much it's like accepted fan theory,
Yeah.
that's why. So like this is like, but like in some later games that also have that same continuity, like something different happened. So like there are different like fucking wall vagina, just lava. So there are different timelines that just come to exist in the way the story plays out and everything.
Right.
Like there's the version where Link ends up where Majora's Mask happens and Link is dead, and then he is not there to say stop again. And the second time. And then Twilight Princess has a different like outcome, like a different alternate future and stuff. So
Yeah, but I feel like the issue with that kind of lore is that like now you can't really do some other like interesting story ideas, like having Zelda be the hero and Link be the bad guy.
I mean they have some, I guess, but like that's it's still Nintendo and stuff. So I feel like to some degree that's not what people expect, nor really they haven't set a precedent where it should be something they expect.
Right.
I think that's why people like Zelda is because they like the consistencies.
Right.
Link is
That's
the
fair.
hero. Zelda is the princess and she has some crazy powers and stuff. And
Yeah.
she maybe a princess, but she's also it's called Legend of Zelda because she is important to the plot. It's not called Legend of Link.
Right.
And you sometimes you can expect it's Ganondorf, sometimes it's not Ganondorf. It still keeps you guessing, but also to an
Yeah.
extent you expect certain things. And you're like, oh, I wonder if this is in this game this time.
Yeah.
I think it's the world and the lore around it that people really fell in love with and kind of got attached to.
Yeah.
Sorry, hold on. And I think Lord of the Rings is kind of similar in that way too. Where it's like people got so interested and intrigued by the world surrounding all the the characters and stuff. And obviously with that you can do more. You can do different characters and stuff. But again, it's.
Yeah.
That's a freaking novel and stuff that... Oh, hey, what's up? Hey! Oh, you're talking to me through my rock. Yeah, I know they're rats. I don't care.
No shit.
Okay. So, like, yeah, the world of Hyrule, I think, is, is Nintendo's, take on a fantasy,
Yeah.
world. And I think,
Okay.
it has some things, like I said, like the Gorons are kind of like dwarves, like they're the mountain-dwelling people. The Zoras are kind of like elves because they're pretty,
Yeah.
elegant people.
Oh, that's nice.
And there's and Link's species in Ocarina at least are kind of like the hobbits because they're like
Right.
forest people.
Right.
So like it is still primarily a it's Nintendo, so it's still like a children's game, but like I think the reason why a lot of people remember it and like still has a lot of adult fans is because they're invested in the world and the characters around it.
Right.
So I think to that end, I think it makes I'm glad that it has at least some degree of lore, because you can get engaged and more interested in it.
Yeah.
And like and there are certain tropes and characters and stuff that like appear in different games.
Yeah.
In different variations and stuff, and people are like, oh yeah, it's that.
Some things don't.
It's just it's nostalgia. I think having something like that for people to get nostalgic for, I think is a lot of what gives Zelda its charm.
Yeah. I mean, some things need lore, some things don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, MLP did not need all the lore that it got.
And Mario doesn't need lore.
No.
But like when you have Zelda, which is like a fantasy-driven, adventure story, adventure franchise, it's good to have those kinds of things.
I mean, with the issue that MLP had is that like it tried
it's
to. Well, yes, and also like it doesn't really have like the world should continue to be Ponyville and like the town that they live in. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, that can be extended to like outside towns like Canterlot or wherever the
Manhattan.
fuck. Yeah.
Fuck you, slut.
Fuck you, slut. But like, the problem is that like
look at the target audience, so they're not going to care or understand what any of that is.
You shouldn't be like making lore if the whole point of this is the target audience and not the adult fans.
Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe that's just something for the adult fans specifically, but it's there's nothing wrong with appealing to that fan group and acknowledging they exist.
No.
But like, thing is, like, obviously I have not watched enough MLP to know to know the answer to this, but like, how much of what percentage of it is really like consistent? Do they like? It is like I'm asking you, is the lore and stuff used consistently? Is it
Well, in the first 4 seasons, no, because they don't really leave Ponyville that much.
Right.
It's only after season 4 that starts to be a thing, and that's when the show got bad.
Well, I guess if you want to expand the world, there's only so many storylines you can do in Ponyville.
Yeah.
So I'm not against creating a bigger world and everything.
No. But the world itself, the expansion of the world is not what I'm mad at. It's it's a show about interpersonal relationship. It's a show about problem solving. It's not an adventure anime.
Sure.
And it shouldn't have tried to be.
It's not like a fantasy,
No.
realm, world-driven thing or anything.
No, it's a show about characters learning to be better friends and learning to problem solve. And
is your problem with it do you feel like maybe they became too focused on that?
Yes.
On making it about
yes.
building lore and characters and
yeah, because they'll go to a new town, Twilight will make a new friend, but then we'll never go to that town ever again.
Okay. And but does whatever that town does is about or creates come back later, or is this a one-off? Okay,
it's a one-off.
So just creating lore and characters and building a world, but never really dedicating to it, or bringing it back, okay, teaching you things about the lore. It's like wrestling, teaching you things about the lore, and rewarding you for following them and remembering them and stuff.
Yeah,
but it doesn't do that.
Right. Because, I remember, this is the egregious thing with that annoying purple pony that's not Twilight.
Okay.
You needed to fuck off and die.
Time travel bitch?
Yeah, time travel bitch.
Okay.
Fucking, I can't remember her name. Starlight, I think it was.
Starlight
something.
Creative.
I know, right? We see her town at the beginning of season 5, and then at the end of season 5, they automatically forgive her.
Right.
Which is...
Feels like an easy out. Doesn't feel
and it's no, and she never suffered or had anything bad happen to her because of her crimes that she committed. Nothing happened.
Well, was she meant to be sympathetic? I'm not.
Yes, but it was bad sympathy.
Well, I worded that the way I did because sympathetic to you is not sympathetic to everyone else.
It was not to everyone else, maybe. To me, no. The whole reason why she created that town and tried to destroy Cutie Marks is because her friend got his Cutie Mark when they were kids and he moved away.
Fuck. Okay. So, Cutie Marks took her friend away from her, and so she wants to get rid of all Cutie Marks.
Yes.
That's a bit much.
Yes.
Excessive. Okay, so I'm going to get into the show. We'll talk more about lore and stuff. I don't know.
Woo!